Hey everybody, welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Michael Noland. Tonight we're going to be talking about Deep Purple. Deep Purple is out touring. On top of that, they've got a brand new album out, an album I've covered on the channel, Equals One. But in addition to that, they are also touring with the prog rock band Yes. And of course, Yes has a very recent album out called Mirror to the Sky. But despite all of that, two bands out there touring currently with relatively brand new product, and yet there are persistent rumors that Deep Purple is about ready to retire. And that's what the video is about tonight, folks. We're going to discuss Ian Gillan's response to those rumors. I've only got one question for you. How do we get Journey to retire? All right, so first of all, as my longtime viewers already know, I'm not exactly the guy you go to for an encouragement for classic rock bands just to be out constantly touring and becoming nothing more than a traveling jukebox show, a shadow of their former selves. I'm also not a fan of bands who are only touring with one or zero members from the band we have all come to know and love. And yet I'm talking about Yes tonight, and I've given them a compliment. Why? Well, for one reason, they do still have Steve Howe in the band. He's one of the classic lineup of the band we all came to love, and they have Mirror in the Sky. And every damn time I hear that album, I hear Yes. You know what? I'm going to defer this to Scott over on the Prog Corner, because maybe he can make sense out of it. Because every damn time I hear Mirror to the Sky, I hear the prog rock band Yes. However, in general, I don't give very many bands a pass with only one or less remaining members. Which brings me back to Deep Purple. 3 members of the current lineup are from what I consider Deep Purple's classic lineup, Deep Purple Mark II. We have Ian Gillan, Roger Glover, and Ian Pace. And as I've stated in the past, Deep Purple is a band that is known by its marks. It is a band that gets a pass every time with me, as long as, well, at least Ian Pace is in the band, because he's the one member that was there from the very beginning. Now, about those rumors concerning Deep Purple's retirement, you know, when they did their posters for the Equals One More Time tour, they really didn't do themselves any favors. That almost hinted a final time to some fans' minds. But not only in some fans' minds, evidently in some rock reporters' minds as well. We're going to be discussing this interview that Ian carried on with, what was this gentleman's name? Oh yeah, Matt Wardlaw. And he got right to the point when he asked Ian, when the tour with Yes was originally announced, it was billed as the Equals One More Time tour. Realistically, how close does the end of the road and perhaps this band feel to you? Ian responded by saying, well, you know what? It was only recently that I heard somebody mention the tour name. I had never heard that before. I had never even spoken to anyone about it. No one asked me. That's rubbish. That's not the name of the tour. Actually, I think the tour was called Unleashed. I don't know. I don't see Unleashed back there. Do you folks? But he goes on to say, not that it matters. It's a Deep Purple tour and we're happy and whatever. But to answer your question, it is what it is. As soon as you start feeling unable to deliver at that level, of course, you adjust, you adapt, and make do the best you can. But when the energy level goes, that's the time to stop, because then it gets embarrassing and nobody wants that. Would somebody please tell that to half the bands out touring now? But back to Ian, he says, but so far, so good. I think that's a much better title than what you said before. Now, the album goes on to discuss Deep Purple's new album, Equals One, specifically discussing the band's relationship with producer Bob Ezrin and how the band has learned to take directions. You see, the band used to just jam for 3 or 4 days on a piece, all the members just adding whatever they think. They'd kind of argue and go back and forth and finally whip out the product. That's the way most bands did it back in the day. But evidently Bob is there and he says, this is bullshit, cut that crap out, tidy it up here, and you've got your hit. And if you ask me, that also explains the very abbreviated songs on the album. However, that doesn't hurt the album. The album, as it is a wonderful Deep Purple album, one of their best, not up there with their, like, say, top 5, 6, 7 albums, but honestly placed maybe at the bottom of their better albums. You know, folks, we are in the last days, whether you like it or not, of classic rock as we have experienced it. Far and few between are classic rock bands, especially from the 60s, who are still touring and still recording brand new material. And sadly, sometimes it seems like we lose rock and roll icons almost on a daily basis. John Mayall just recently passed away. And so the opportunity to see these bands, to buy brand new material from these bands, is fastly fading away, folks. Now, that doesn't mean that classic rock is dead. Classic rock will never die. That's the good news of this video. You see, classic rock cannot die. Its very discography will survive beyond the lifetimes of the people who created it and of the people, unfortunately, who listened to it to begin with. But like Mozart, Beethoven, Vivaldi, this music has staying power. It will survive hundreds of years into the future. All right, folks, so my question to the tribe is this. How many of the bands that are out there touring, all right? And I don't care if they have fake members or not. It doesn't matter. How many bands are out touring now do you feel should just hang it up? Do you think Deep Purple should hang it up? How about Yes, with only Steve Howe on board? Shouldn't they have hung it up a couple of years ago, maybe? Let me know. I'm curious as to what you guys think about it. All right, that's the video for tonight. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. That helps get it to a wider audience. The channel grows and all of that. If you are one of my viewers that occasionally watch my videos, you know, it's really easy to subscribe to this channel. You just hit that subscribe to the tribe button, then tap the top bell icon, because then you get notified of all my future stuff, all right? All right, folks, I'm Michael Noland. This is The Bottom Line as I see it. That's what this video is about. The comments underneath this video, that's the real bottom line for this channel, because that's where we show that, of course, we are the tribe.